Hello everybody out there watching on YouTube, and welcome to race number 18 of Season 2 NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. I'm Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Rockies 400 here at Pikes Peak, and this is the second time we've been back here at this racetrack. First time we went here was a pretty solid race, despite it was a domination race. We'll see how things will be different as we are now later in the season. We are back at this track, and we shall see what happens. But before we look at the lineup, let's look at how the top 20 in the points look coming into this race. So to get things started, the points leader is still Rafael LeDuc, but he only leads by 2 points. That's 2 spots on the track over Nelson Thornhill. Third is Chris Michaels, who is 9 points back, so it's pretty close between the top 3. Fourth is Emmanuel Hartnett. Fifth, Anthony McCrory. Sixth, DJ Curtis. Seventh, David Rivera. Eighth, Grayson Acevedo. Ninth, Dylan Thoreau. And then 10th is Nathaniel Reed. And the rest of the top 20 is Austin LaPlante, Charles Sanford, Seth Cole, Trent Dunham, Dorian Facepuncher, Joshua Sekuli, JT Bryant, Mark Lane, James Qualls, and our pole sitter for today, Benjamin Miles. But with that said, let's look at the lineup. Starting in the last row, we have James Shelley and Trent Dunham. Top 10, it's Benjamin Miles on the pole with Jessica Shelton starting right next to him. Row 2 is Jesse King and Chris Dollarton. Row 3 is Ashlyn Boyd and Angel Alvera. Row 4, Jonathan Zorline and Emmanuel Hartnett. And then row 5, Joshua Sekuli and Tim Fiegel. So with that said, let's go ahead and get the command to fire engines for the Rockies 400 at Pikes Peak.
Drivers, start your engines!
And there you have it. Pace car pulling out of pit road along with all the other cars, excuse me, for our one pace lap around this racetrack. So like I said, we went here early in the season, and it was a great race despite it was dominated by Kyle Matthews. Led over half of the race, but we saw a lot of great racing throughout. We shall see if we're going to get more passing for the lead up here at the front this time around, or are we going to get more or less the same as what we had before. Pace car in the pit road, which means it's time to boogity 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 go racing. Well, Jesse King led at the line, but a caution just come out for a big multi-car crash, and upside down is Charles Sanford, and also his teammate Kyle Matthews was in there as Sanford comes to rest on his roof. Angel Alvera was involved in whatever this was. Johnny Gardner was involved. Dylan Thoreau looks like he got a piece of it as well. Even Mark Lane got a big buckle on his hood. Joshua Collard was involved. A lot of cars were caught up in this whole mess. But there is your leader, Jesse King. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay of what brought the caution out for the first time today here at Pikes Peak. Well, here's a look at what happened. Angel Alvera attempted 4 wide right there and gets into Chris Dollarton, but then Charles Sanford gets into Angel Alvera, and that's what's going to get the wreck start. Tim Fiegel got involved, and then it was the contact from, looked like Dylan Thoreau, that sends the 03 into a wild flip down the front stretch, and there's where Kyle Matthews gets involved, and Sanford just continues to flip and slide over and over down the front stretch. This is one of the wildest rides I've seen on a smaller racetrack. This is only a little over of a mile racetrack, and we got a flipping crash like this. Tough break for Charles Sanford, who fell out of the top 10 in points after last week at Daytona. And let's see Dylan Thoreau's perspective of this to get a bigger hint as to what else went down. After Sanford got the wall, yeah, it was right there. The dueling contact of the 41 and also getting the wall was what sent that 03 car around, and points leader Rafael Leduc just snuck through that. And there's where Collard gets involved, and the 56 was involved. And I have no idea how Anthony McCrory, well, yeah, he got involved. He got ran over from behind by Johnny Gardner, who in turn also runs into the 41. But look at the two of the Roush cars, the 6 and the 17. I don't know how they didn't run into anybody. Let's see in this camera shot, see what happened. A little bump, but nothing major, so great job for Rivera and Michaels. And even Leduc, their other teammate, managed to get through all this somehow, some way. As there you see the 03 sliding on his roof. Tough break for him, like I said. But, Jesse King is your leader. Let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at Pikes Peak. Well, after that first caution, we only have 2 cars out of the race, and they include Charles Sanford and Johnny Gardner, as they got the most damage out of all that. But in any way, Jesse King is your race leader. Second is Benjamin Miles. Third, Ashlyn Boyd. Fourth, Jessica Sheldon. Fifth is Joshua Sakuli. Sixth, Jonathan Zorling. Seventh is Nelson Thornhill. Eighth, Emmanuel Hartnett. Ninth, Chris Dollarton. 10th, Austin LaPlante. And it looks like we're only going to be able to get through the top 10 on the rundown because we're coming to the green flag with 33 laps to go. Still pretty much the whole race left to do. And the green flag is back out here at Pikes Peak. And Jesse King gets off to a big jump on that restart, as a battle for second has already ensued. Ashlyn Boyd goes by the 21 of Benjamin Miles, and now Joshua Sakuli, who went by the 02 of Jessica Sheldon, is now going to try to take third away from Benjamin Miles. Jonathan Zorling going to try to get by Sheldon. Same with Nelson Thornhill in the 78. Excuse me. As actually looking at the speeds, they are actually going really, really fast. Over 190 is how fast they're going. Under 20-second lap times. But anyways, Jesse King still has the race lead. He has led every lap so far, but here comes a challenger. Joshua Sakuli with a run on the inside for position. Let's see if he can clear him by the time they get off turn 2, and he does. Great pass by the 11 to get to the point up front. Ashlyn Boyd in third, but now Nelson Thornhill, second in points, is trying to work his way up. And now he's going to go low for the third spot underneath the 10. So right now, if the race were to end right now, the 78 of Thornhill would take the points lead over. But I saw in that frame the 99 of Leduc is starting to work his way up through the field. Heck, according to the scoring, he was last scored in 19th. What about now? 16th, so he actually lost a spot. But now the top 3 are all in like a freight train formation. The 78, 51, and the 11. And now look at this big battle going on from 4th on back. The 48 of Austin LaPlante is trying to take the 4th spot away from Emmanuel Hartnett, and he does, and now battle for the lead. Jesse King going to try and retake the spot from the 11 of Joshua Sakuli, as they've kind of pulled away a little bit from the 78, just a tad. The 78's still with them, and they are going to catch the 56 of Mark Lane, who's going 15 miles an hour slower than the leaders. And now Sakuli going to get a run back going. And here comes Seth Cole with a run underneath Nelson Thornhill for the 3rd spot. Great racing going on as they've caught the 56. But Sekuli still has the run on the inside as the high line's getting held up and Nelson Thornhill gets shoved completely out of the high groove, or out of the middle groove at the time, and now he's up above 3 wide. Whoa, Shelton nearly squeezed the 78 up into the wall, and they keep it together. That was a close call right there, as the 78 cannot seem to get in line properly, as now here comes the 99 of Rafael LeDuc, last scored in 18th, trying to get by the 78 to gain points. As the 56 continues to hold up the 20 and the 78. So a lot of spots were taken away from the 78 and the 20 as a result of being behind the 56 for so many laps. Back here around 20th or so is a battle. Joshua Collard takes the spot away from Tim Fiegel as James Qualls trying to get a run going. Even though he's right now in the 20th spot, he still has a lot of ground to make up if he's going to gain more points. But he is a tad bit off the pace because he did get a little bit of damage. That, or they're starting to use brakes. Yeah, they are starting to use brakes a little bit more as a result of tires, because tire wear is a big thing here at this racetrack. As we are a lap away from the halfway point, Joshua Sekuli still leads, but Seth Cole, who I last saw was taking 3rd away, he's up to 2nd, and Kev Shearer in the 12 is right there with him. And then you got Jonathan Zorline kind of lurking in there as well. And then a battle for 5th, Jesse King trying to take that spot from Benjamin Miles. But you got to wonder about pit stops, if they're going to come into pit road or not, as we're now past the halfway point of the race. I'm actually trying to look back to see if anybody's pitting, and nobody yet. But back up here at the front, Seth Cole going to try and take the lead over from the 11, and I don't know if he's cleared or not. He probably will once we get off turn 4 here, and yes, he does have him clear. Kev Shearer's clear of the 11, but now Shearer's going to try and take the lead. Battle for the lead once again. The 12 going to try to go to the point as they are going to catch the 87 of Angel Alvera here very soon, but pit stops. Here we go. Green flag pit stops, just as I was expecting. The first car that pulled in was, it looked like the 11 of Sekuli went down first, as Kev Shearer still leads, but now he's going to come into pit road as well. Zorline's coming in along with the 51. Quite a lot of cars coming into pit road now, but a lot are still staying out. And right now your leader is the 98 of Seth Cole, as he is slowly getting up to the 87 one. Now looks like everybody is going to come into pit road that's still out on track. 56 of Mark Lane going to stay out to try to get his lap back. And I think everybody's gone into pit road or is coming in pit road except for the 56. He's still out on track, obviously, to try to get a lap back. And now he's going to come into pit road. Chris Dollerton, who was in one of the first group of cars that came into pit road, he's still out on the track. Now it's going to be kind of interesting to see who will be the race leader after these pit stops have occurred, as the 98 is coming out. But the 11 of Sekuli, who pitted in that first group, he may be the new leader. Maybe the 62. Or maybe not. Actually, I think he's a lap down. Let's see when the scoring updates. Yeah, I think he's on the tail end. Yeah, he's on the very tail end of the lead lap. So the leader is once again Joshua Sekuli. So as we look at the field now after those pit stops have happened, Joshua Sekuli is your leader. Second is Kev Shearer. Third is Jonathan Zorline. Fourth is Benjamin Miles. And then fifth is Jesse King. Sixth is Matt Haas. Seventh, Seth Cole. Eighth, Austin LaPlante. Ninth, Rafael LeDuc. And then 10th is Nelson Thornhill. 11th is Zachary Fitzwater. 12th is JT Bryant. 13th is James Shelley. Yeah, James Shelley. 14th, Dylan Poteet. 15th, Jessica Shelton. 16th, Andrew Rich. 17th, James Qualls. 18th, Nathaniel Reed. 19th, Ashlyn Boyd. And then 10th, Sean Galligan. Or not 10th. Why am I'm going by single digits again. I meant 19th and then 20th. Excuse me. 21st is Trent Dunham. 22nd is DJ Curtis. 23rd, Preston Plord. 24th, Dylan Young. 25th is Dougie Shears. Trying to find where 26th is. There he is, Matt McIntyre. 27th is PJ Williams. 28th, Grayson Acevedo. 29th is Chris Michaels. 30th is Chris Dollarton. And then everybody else is a lap down all throughout the field. Dorian Facepuncher, Angel Oliveira, Emmanuel Hartnett, Mark Lane, David Rivera. And then 2 laps down, Kyle Matthews, Joshua Collard, Anthony McCurry, Tim Fiegel, and Dylan Thoreau. Back here up at the front, Sekuli still leads. Shearer's under 3/4 of a second behind the 11 as the 11's battling lap traffic. The 41 and the 09, and now approaching the 8 of Tim Fiegel. So if the 12 can capitalize on that, even though he's starting to run out of time, as it's now 6 to go, and the margin's actually gotten bigger, now to over 0.8 of a second between the 11 and the 12. But these lap cars are not really giving him much of a break. See the margin this time, it continues to get bigger somehow, some way. I guess the 11 really is maneuvering pretty well with the lap traffic, as it's now getting to 4 laps to go, and still you got the 08 of, or not the 08, the 8 of Fiegel right in front of the 11. But things can happen in an instant, as right there, Shearer actually gained a little bit of time, but now he's probably going to lose it because he's stuck behind the 41 of Thoreau. And Thoreau ain't making it easy for him. And then the 09 of Kyle Matthews is right on the back bumper of the 11. Margin this time, actually it's getting bigger, but I don't think it's going to be enough unless the 09 tries to... Oh, and just as I was thinking that, he may be coming underneath the 11. Well, didn't quite get enough speed in there. And you gotta wonder if the 8's going to cause something here in the next lap or so, as it's now 2 to go, and the margin's still starting to get smaller. Shearer is trying to catch the 11 of Sekuli. I don't think it's going to be enough, like I said, unless the 8 holds up the 11 and the 09 tries to pass the 11. That's going to be the only chance as we're coming to the white flag. White flag is out for Joshua Sekuli as the lead continues to shrink to a little over half a second. The 12 is given everything he's got, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough as we're going in through 3 and 4, coming off of turn number 4 for the last time. First time winner this season, Joshua Sekuli wins the Rockies 400 at Pikes Peak. First time winner of the series. Great job for Joshua Sekuli. His rookie season here in Season 2 of the Marvel Studios Cup Series gets his first win here at Pikes Peak, and what a great performance it was for him. Had to hold off a charging Kev Shearer. I still bet you if there was about 5 more laps, Kev Shearer could have had a shot to win this thing, but nonetheless, congrats to Joshua Sekuli as we look at the rest of the results. Kev Shearer came pretty close in the end, but he comes out with a great run in second. Jonathan Zorline, great points day in third as he's going to maintain top 30 in the points. Matt Haas, who was tied with Zorline but had to fall out because of a tiebreaker, but he made it in, got fourth place run. And then Seth Cole with a great run in fifth, great run in the sixth place for Benjamin Miles. Great top 10 finish. I think this is the first top 10 finish in several weeks that Rafael Leduc has had. So great run, long top 10 streak has been, or top 10 winless type of streak has been broken. He got top 10 today. Jesse King, an early leader, comes out with a great run in 8th, solid run in 9th for Austin LaPlante, and then a great run in 10th for Zachary Fitzwater. Rest of the top 20 was Nelson Thornhill, JT Bryant, James Shelley, Dylan Poteet, James Qualls, Jessica Sheldon, Nathaniel Reed, Andrew Rich, Sean Galligan, Ashlyn Boyd. Rest of the lead lap cars were DJ Curtis, Preston Plord, Trent Dunham, Dylan Young, Dougie Shears, Matt McIntyre, Grayson Acevedo, PJ Williams, Chris Dollarton, and Chris Michaels. Rest of the cars that finished were a lap or more down. Dorian Facepuncher, Angel Alvera, Emmanuel Hartnett, David Rivera, Mark Lane, Kyle Matthews, Joshua Collard, Anthony McCrory, Tim Fiegel, and Dylan Thoreau. And then the only two cars out of the race after our one and only caution were Charles Sanford and Johnny Gardner. Well, that does it for our coverage here today here at Pikes Peak for the Rockies 400. Next week, we go back to play racing as we head to one of my favorite plate tracks, Armory Digital Superspeedway for the Marvel Studios 500. But until then, here are your results, rookie points and regular points heading into Armory Digital, and this is Levi McIntyre signing off.